So, more and more manufacturers are following the trend by releasing smartphones with a previously unimaginable 5-inch plus display size in an attempt to make users more productive on their smartphones without the need for a tablet. And let's find out if this is just an oversized HTC One or if the Max really is a do-it-all device. I like smartphones with big displays. My current daily driver is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3, and I was also a huge fan of the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, both of which are reviewed early in October, so don't forget to check out those reviews if you're interested in my thoughts about them. The thing is, if you think that the Note 3 was big, think again. This HTC is Max by name and Max by nature. The funny thing is though, it is actually really comfortable to hold, and this is most definitely due to the build materials HTC have decided to go with. It resembles a bit of a mixture between the HTC One and the HTC One Mini in terms of build quality and looks, and this is far from being a bad thing. Its metallic front and back are held together by the same polycarbonate frame that is also clutched in the HTC One Mini. One thing that has bugged me a lot about the HTC One was the location of the power button at the top, and I found it quite difficult to access, especially when using the device one-handed. The Max has luckily addressed this issue, and now my index finger always seems to automatically rest on it as soon as I place the phone in my hand. Another thing I'm really pleased with is how HTC have kept the IR blaster at the top, a feature that I personally use a lot. Something that I see more and more on devices these days is the lack of expandable memory. There is now an increasing push towards cloud services by manufacturers such as HTC, with various promotions when purchasing a new device, as internal storage options haven't really increased over the last few years. So it was nice to read in the press release that the Max will actually be coming with microSD card support. To access it, all you need to do is remove the back cover, which is opened by the little switch on the left hand side of the device. There is much else to see otherwise apart from the non-removable 3300 mAh battery, but I don't think you'll be too concerned, as it will quite comfortably get you through a day, even under heavy usage. Putting the cover back onto the device, you'll notice the black little square underneath the ultra pixel camera, which is shared across the one line of devices, and that is the fingerprint scanner. And although it's a really nice idea in theory, it was probably the only slight issue I had when using the device. It allows you to program up to 3 fingers for fingerprint recognition, so you don't have to hold the phone in one specific hand, but the real issue was the actual recognition itself. Too many times did I find myself having to rescan my finger over and over to get it to unlock. For some reason, I had the most success using my left index finger. Luckily though, it can quite easily be turned off in the settings until there's hopefully a software update to increase the accuracy. The camera on this device has remained identical to its little brother, with a tried and tested ultra pixel sensor with larger individual pixels but less resolution. In terms of image quality, it might not yield the best results in normal daylight, but it easily beats any other competitor when the light starts to fade. Here are some pictures of my border collie puppy, and it was only occasionally when the camera struggled with the white balance. 99% of the time it managed to get it spot on. Software wise, the gallery has seen an overhaul with a new carousel style view, allowing you to swipe left or right to access various sections like events, albums or HTC Share. The camera app itself retains the well known and loved Zoe feature, and the only real upgrade is a new dual shot mode, which takes 2 pictures simultaneously, one with a front facing camera along with one from the rear facing one. Turning the phone around, you'll find a major strong point of the One lineup, and that is their front-facing speakers. It is such a simple idea, but it works so well, as most other phones have their speakers placed somewhere around the frame of the device, where you can quite easily cover them up. Really well done to HTC, as this makes watching YouTube videos or playing games a real joy. As well as their speakers, HTC is also well known for their displays, which has always been a feature across their flagship phones. This device features the same SLCD3 display technology as found on the HTC One, but on a much larger scale. 5.9 inches to be exact, with the same 1080p resolution, resulting in class-leading color reproduction along with very good viewing angles, also making it very usable in bright daylight. All these pixels need to be pushed around on this display, therefore requiring a good GPU coupled with a very powerful CPU. When I first read some of the leaks about the device, I was quite looking forward to the then rumoured Snapdragon 800 CPU, so I was naturally disappointed to see the device launch with only a Snapdragon 600. Luckily though, these are only numbers on a spec sheet and don't actually represent any real world usage. HTC have gone down the if it ain't broke don't fix it route on this device, and there's virtually no lag when using the phone or playing games, and hats off to the amazing developers over HTC for really optimising Sense to run buttery smooth on this CPU. Everyday operations run without hiccups, and there was no stutter at all, even when playing the most demanding games like Modern Combat 4 Zero Hour. Staying on the topic of software, HTC have made some minor improvements in that department and are shipping the device with the updated version of Sense 5.5, based on top of Android 4.3. BlinkFeed has probably seen the biggest update, with some nice improvements making this feature now really usable, unlike when it was first released. The biggest issue users faced was the lack of custom RSS feeds, as well as not being able to turn it off. Luckily, all those issues and more have been addressed, so you can now include your Google Plus account into the stream along with custom RSS feeds from your favourite websites. There is now also the ability to turn it off should you want to use your own news reading app. Most of the other software features have pretty much stayed the same compared to Sense 5 with only some minor visual changes. One of these is the ability to customize the quick toggles in the notification area, rather than being stuck with what HTC think you'll need, and you can now actually reduce the number of toggles and minimize clutter. Personally, I think that increasing display size increases productivity, and I would love to see more apps specifically designed for larger screen devices. The HTC One Max has the same issue I encountered with the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, and that is the lack of dedicated apps for massive displays. I don't necessarily mean going to the extent of the Note 3 where the whole phone is based around the stylus, but something that will make people want to get it, like being able to use the pencil as a stylus on the Sony for example. HTC have got one app named Scribble which gives you the ability to use your finger to draw or take notes on the device, but I would like to have seen some sort of stylus to go with it, even if it's only an optional accessory. The thing is though, I can't see this being too big a problem for the majority of people who will be buying this phone, but personally this is why I'm using the Note 3 as my daily driver. So to summarise, I really like the device, and it was definitely a bold move for HTC to literally turn the knob to max and enter a very niche market very much dominated by Samsung. I don't however necessarily think that their target audience are Samsung users, as this feels more of an experiment to see what people's reactions would be, and if this goes well then I can most definitely see a product of similar size appear at CES in Las Vegas in January with more powerful specs and more apps to take advantage of the larger screen size. So thank you very much for watching this review of the HTC One Max. Let me know what you think about the size of the display. Is it too big for you, or do you like that they're getting more daring with screen sizes? Are you somebody who would like to see more stylus optimized features on these types of handsets, or do you think they're just overkill? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like the video if you've enjoyed it, and also don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one.